Hey, what's up everybody, the Ryman here, coming to you with more Dragon Age Origins, and guess what? We haven't talked to Muffins in a little while.
Your dog is filthy. I can smell him 50 yards off.
Aww. Oh god, neither dialogue option seems good.
That may be so, but all the same, I would like your permission to bathe him.
Go ahead.
Excellent. I will get my soaps, and the dog shall have his bath after supper.
Sorry dude, you gotta smell nice. Smell nice and clean.
Yes, it is good to have my sword at my side again. I call her Asala, the soul, my soul. She is forged from rare blue steel and has served me faithfully for many years. Yes, you understand what it is like to have a weapon that is part of you. Few others do.
God, Sten looks so badass. Let's go, just go over here and look at him for a second. First off, he's wearing, I believe, Kaylin's breastplate. I believe most of that is Kaylin's armor. Let me just take a quick look here. Oh no, most of... Yeah, Kaylin's breastplate and the rest is like Juggernaut armor. Doesn't really match, but then look at this beauty of a sword. Just sparkling with electricity. That's so badass. Alright, so we're going to check with every party member. It is party camp again.
You call? Can I respond in poetry? No? How sad.
Tell me more about your adventures. Tell me a little bit more about Antiva. I think I've already went through those dialogue options with him before, haven't I?
You call?
Might as well see.
Can I respond in poetry? Again? Well now, what might interest you, I wonder? Shall I describe the stages involved with Lanthrax poisoning? I watched a man go through all 7 once.
That's pleasant.
No, I'll not inflict that upon you just yet. Let's see, how about the largest battle I ever took part in? That would have been the slaughter of Prince Oghren. Did you hear of that down in these parts?
Oh yes, it's a very famous story.
Me? Not personally, but I did take part in the attack. Prince Oghren was 4th in line to the throne, you see. He started off as 11th, but worked his way up the old-fashioned method by inheriting control of an entire Crocel from his grandfather. After assassinating his way through the royal family, the king hired 3 other cells to take down Prince Oghren once and for all. I was in one of those cells.
Sounds pretty epic.
Antivan royalty is very much bound up in the crows. You wouldn't want it run by a bunch of commoners, after all, would you? And this means they get involved in politics quite often. This particular fight nearly bankrupted the nation, I understand. It almost ended up putting a crow on the throne, a commoner. But that's a whole different story. I played a very small part.
Ugh. I just tasted my soda that I brought in, and it tastes like pure metal mixed in. Ugh. It's horrible. What did he do?
My part in the entire battle was taken up trying to reach Princess Verina, who had thrown in with her brother. I killed about 11 of her guards personally before I got knocked out of a window. I landed in a river and nearly drowned. I was fished out by some urchins who robbed me blind. Made off with my boots, too. At least they didn't cut my throat. And that was my part in history.
Not very glamorous, wasn't it? Got robbed by urchins?
I had to find my way back to the safe house, bruised and naked, and thankful to be alive. But there you go. Tale told. Let's be off before I tell more embarrassing stories, huh?
Yeah, I maxed him out to plus 100 again.
You call? Can I respond in poetry? No? How's that?
I'm trying to make sure I exhaust all my dialogue options. Because I haven't gotten any quests that brought it up to loving or friendly.
I wouldn't have spoken about it before, but you have been a good friend. There is no reason for me not to speak of it now. There is a reason I accepted this mission in Ferelden, far away from home, and it had nothing to do with any thought that I might leave the Crows. Meeting you, after all, was quite an accident. My last mission before this one did not end well.
What happened?
You must realize that until that day I was cocky and arrogant. I was the best crow in Antiva, I believed, and I bragged of my conquests often, both as an assassin and lover.
And then what?
One of the crow masters grew tired of my boasting. My bid for an incredibly difficult mark was accepted, much to my surprise. A wealthy merchant with many guards and completely silent. Taliesin agreed to be part of my team, as well as an elven lass named Rina. She was a marvel. Tough, smooth, wicked. Eyes that gleamed like justice. Everything I thought I desired.
Which one should I put? You found love?
Rina was special. I had closed off my heart, I thought. But she touched something within me. It frightened me. When Taliesin revealed to me that Rina had accepted a bribe from the merchant, told him of our plan, I readily agreed that she needed to pay the price and allowed Taliesin to kill her. Rina begged me not to. On her knees, with tears in her eyes, she told me that she loved me and had not betrayed us. I laughed in her face and said that even if it were true, I didn't care.
Ah, shit. Which one to pick? But that wasn't true?
I convinced myself it was. Taliesin cut her throat, and I watched her bleed as she stared up at me. I spat on her for betraying the crows. When Taliesin and I finally assassinated the merchant, we found the true source of his information. Rina had not betrayed us, after all. Of course not. I didn't care to know. I wanted to tell the crows what we had done, our mistake. Taliesin convinced me not to. He said it would be a foolish waste. So we reported that Rina had died in the attempt. We needn't have bothered. The crows knew what we had done. The master who disliked me told me so to my face. He said the crows knew, and they didn't care. And one day, my turn would come. To rub it in my face, perhaps. That I was nothing. That she was nothing. You once asked why I wanted to leave the crows. In truth, what I wanted was to die. What better way than to throw myself at one of the fabled Grey Wardens? And then, this happened. And here I am.
I don't know if he'll be very happy with somebody feeling sorry for him. I mean, this is the same guy who was like, oh, you should keep the anvil. It could bring a lot of power to us and stuff. I don't know. My sense of morality is very, very iffy at this point. Do you still want to die? This is as awful. Let's play it safe and say, do you still want to die?
No. What I want is to begin again. Whatever it is I sought by leaving Antiva, I think I have found it. I owe you a great deal. Let us return to your mission, shall we? Suddenly, I do not feel like standing about.
Okay, good. I didn't lose any points with him.
You call? Can I respond in poetry? No? How sad. Oh, you wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
And it has assassins.
Every land has its assassins. Some are simply more open about their business than others. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable?
I'm not from any glittering gem, no. I come from a tower that confined me there for pretty much my entire life.
No? That is too bad. If you were, then surely you would spend as much time boasting about it as I do. You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most.
This I have to hear.
I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home more than anything else.
I have a feeling he very much likes those leather jock straps, too. Wait, not jock strap. What's that whippy thing that... You know what? I'm not even going to go there.
Oh, not so long, I know. It is my first time away from Antiva, however, and the thought of never returning makes me think of it constantly. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in a store window. Finest Antivan leather. Perfect craftsmanship. But I was a fool to leave them. I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
I asked you about Antiva, not your leather fetish. Almost.
True, and it's a comforting thought.
Yeah.
One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a handsome Grey Warden? A man who then spares my life? I could not. Perhaps that was a poor choice of words. True, though it is. Do you object?
Just unexpected.
And glad I am to hear it. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal.
I can't believe I said jockstrap. I was talking about one of those, like, whippy things that, like, those weird dominatrix people use. God, have I really been playing that much Saints Row this past few weeks? God, that's so creepy of me.
You call? Can I respond in
Oh.
You call? Again? I'm game.
Let's try it one more time just to see if we can turn it from warm to either friendly or loving.
Work, work, work!
Who you calling work? It's still gonna be warm. Who to talk to next?
Something on your mind? Of course. Such as they are. About the Grey Warden. Something on your mind?
Okay, so I've exhausted all dialogue with Alistair, with Zevran.
Something I can help with? Yes? What's on your mind? Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
We've already talked to her about most of this, actually. When?
What's on your mind? I will answer to the best.
Okay. We'll get to Oghren last, because we know that Oghren has a lot of dialogue to share with us. We haven't even talked to him, really.
What is your wish, Kadan?
Discuss something you mentioned.
I am hardly surprised.
Do you find Ferelden very strange?
To put it lightly, no one has a place here. Your farmers wish
Oh
to
wait,
be
we already
merchants.
talked about this.
The merchants dream. Very well. Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on. As you wish.
Okay, so we exhausted all dialogue with Sten.